Hey everybody, welcome on into the Delmarva Sports Insider. We are your top team dedicated to giving you all things local sports here on Delmarva, 5 years running. I am Sports Director Brandon Bosser.
And what is up? It is yours truly, Sports Anchor Devin J. Martin. Welcome into the show. We got a lot to get into tonight, as always.
Yeah, we were getting into it just now. We're talking about the NBA Finals while we were getting ready for the show. This guy can't stand Steph Curry for some reason. He makes the game fun. And you just want to talk about how you can't stand watching him play.
I know he's a great player. I like the way that he plays. I just don't think his effect on the game of basketball has been as positive as everyone says it has.
All right, you know what? We'll get around to the NBA Finals in just a little bit. We've got a little segment for you guys.
It's the first DSI this year with the end of the high school sports season. I mean, I've been here for a great winter season, obviously, Brandon, with fantastic Bayside and Henlopen basketball to enjoy. And now we're already at the end of the spring season. A lot of fun games from great lacrosse teams, soccer, softball, and baseball teams, again, in the Bayside and Henlopen. A couple of state championship appearances and a state title from our local coverage area. And I'm glad we were able to see that. And I was able to see that because it shows all the great sports here on Delmarva.
Yeah, absolutely. We're going to start off with the end of the local baseball season in Delaware.
And that was Cape. They were in the state title game against Apple-Quinnipiac.
Yeah, that's right. So only one team from our coverage area, remaining alive on Monday. Cape Henlopen, they were in baseball's final game of the season. And what a wild game that this one was. Josh Reinhold was called upon to start for the Vikings, senior pitcher. He kept the Jags off the board for a while. Here's Brent Scott, though, with an RBI in the third, and the Vikings breaking the ice, slashing a single out to right. Now, that lead was short-lived. Next inning, Chase Thomas going to drive in the tying run, a sac fly to center. Catch made, the throw nowhere near in time. Pitching continued to dominate. Chase Fleming takes the hill for Appo. And here comes what turned out to be the winning run in the championship game. Austin Rue, come on down. Ball gets away from the catcher. Cape now just 3 outs away from a title.
Now, this next hit right there would signal the end. Nick Cox pinch hitting, and he sends this one all the way to the center field gap.
That was a rocket.
And no one is getting that one near that one in time. So runner comes home. That's a 3-1 lead. But Cox slides into third, and the throw is over the third baseman. So he is stealing home. He's going to be safe at the plate. A wild 6th inning for the Vikings. Brogan Evick on the mound to close this one out as well. And it's a 3-2 count, bases loaded, and he gets the swinging strikeout, giving Cape the state title in a dramatic fashion. They won it 4-1 over Apple, so congrats to Cape on a fantastic season. Now, we spoke with Coach Evick and Josh Reinhold after the game and asked them about what was going through their minds throughout the state championship.
I mean, to load the bases, it's like, all right, well, we've been here before. We know what to expect. Guys are going to compete, and that's what we did.
These first 2 games, we thought we were better than we actually were, and we really had to work hard, and it was just an unbelievable turnaround, and I'm so happy these guys. It's unbelievable.
They're just bulldogs. They just keep fighting. It doesn't matter if they get behind in a game. We could jump out on a team, and they continue to play. They just never quit.
So what an unbelievable season by these guys. They started out the year 1-2, but they did not quit. And one thing that really stands out to me is not just that they didn't lose the rest of the way after that 1-2 start. They had a tough schedule, and they went 8-0 in one-run games during that winning streak to end the season.
And Brogan Evick punched out the final batter of that game to give Cape their 20th consecutive victory. That's a great way to end the season and their second title since 2018. Now, this team was absolutely incredible. We've seen them in tough spots so many times this year, and they answered the call every time. So here's head coach Ben Evick to talk about this team and their journey to the crown.
These guys, they have put their heart into it all year long. I mean, we started out, we thought we were pretty good, and then, we drop and go down 1-2. And then they haven't lost since. I mean, they've played confident baseball. They stuck to our approach. They stuck to the program, and they just kept on. They had each other's backs from day one. And, here we are.
Yeah, here they are,
Yep.
state champions. You know what? Honestly, for most of the season, we talked about Central, we talked about Tech, we talked about IR, but I don't think we talked about Cape enough.
Yeah, not that much.
Yeah.
And also even Delmar, we talked about them.
Yeah,
a lot as well.
Delmar as well. Delmar got pretty far in the state playoffs, but they dominated Lake Forest in the round of 16 in the playoffs. They were the #1 seed at 16-2 on the season. But, man, did they show us what they were made of in these playoffs, because not only did they have to come back in the quarterfinals against Tech, they scored 2 runs in the 6th inning and then closed it out in the 7th inning, but then they faced bases-loaded situations in the 7th inning of both the semifinals against St. Mark's and against Appoquinimink in the championship game. Closed it out with swinging strikeouts by Daminger and then Brogan Evick in both of those games on 3-2 pitches. Not to mention all of the close games with some of the best teams in the state from this season, including Appoquinimink in the regular season when they had to come back with runs in the 5th and the 6th inning. Just an absolutely incredible ride we've been on by this Vikings team.
You mentioned all those close games. You mentioned, obviously, earlier, 8 wins with only a 1-run difference. 6 of those were during the regular season. So all those close wins during the regular season, I think, got the Vikings ready for clutch situations that you just talked about that they had to face in the state tournament that they excelled in.
Yeah.
I mean, how many times were their backs against the wall and they came out on top? Most of the time, especially in high school, those teams would kind of fold, but they did not do that because they were used to all those very, very close games, and they were able to come out the other side. They were battle tested. So congrats to the state champs.
Yeah, I think you're onto something there. Being able to win those close games, not only does it get you battle tested, it builds confidence. And you're in the trenches with those guys every single game. You know how to win those close games. So again, Cape Henlopen showed it in the playoffs, and they were the best team in Delaware, I think, this year, and they deserve that title. All right, now let's go ahead and move on to this week's After the Whistle, Devin.
Yep, and that's track and field Bayside's very own Parkside Rams. They're the cream of the crop. They were this season. The girls, Brandon, took the 4x100 team, took gold, winning states, and officially becoming, in my opinion, the best 4x100 girls team in the state of Maryland.
Now, Devin got the chance to talk with all 4 of them for this week's After the Whistle.
Parkside's Alyssa Maldonado, Renaya Corbin, Jalen Hudson, and Amanda Ballard are your 2022 4x100 Relay Maryland State champions.
We had a pretty good season. We came home with a lot of medals, a lot of trophies, and championship titles, and which led to state titles, so it's a pretty good season.
Now, where the 4x100 team began this season was at a completely different spot from where they ended up. There were questions about who the team would consist of. Ballard and Hudson were on the team last season, which also won states. But what worked for them then wasn't necessarily the formula for this season.
Picking the relay, yeah, that was definitely hard because there was so much talent to go off of. Like, anybody could have had any spot.
This year, the pressure was on because not only did they have to repeat, but they had to work in 2 new runners that needed to get up to speed, Corbin and Maldonado.
Everything was really different because we had more workouts, we had to try harder, and our meets were more important. So I really did have to look up to the seniors for reassurance and encouragement, because it was really difficult to make that adjustment.
So I worked hard and did all the workouts, just came here, did everything I could just to be on this 4x1 right now. It was a little scary at first because you had to work up to it, and there were so many people going different spots and stuff. But I'm glad we accomplished it.
Hudson says they had to develop chemistry, work on handoffs, match strides, and trust the process. Now, Ballard already had a connection with Corbin and Maldonado through other sports that they played together, and that helped them reach and surpass the levels that they got to last year.
I know Alyssa from soccer, and I know she looks up to me, so it's easy to kind of direct her in the right path because I know she's willing to learn and grow. And I know Renaya was going to be the anchor, and we switched, and I'm just giving her that confidence that she can do it and carry out the mission was key part to our success.
But that success doesn't just stop at states. That's right, their season is not over. They'll be competing against the best relay teams in the country at the New Balance Nationals in Philly. So no matter the results, these ladies have helped Parkside have one of their best years ever in track and field. So Brandon, Maldonado and Corbin will be running it back next year. You notice the pun. And Hudson has graduated, so she won't run in the fall. But Ballard, she has a lot of options for her future, as you know, especially being the multi-sport star for the Rams for years that she has been, especially in basketball.
She's been a fantastic basketball player for the Rams. It's going to be so sad to see her go because, man, she's one of the best in the Bayside that we've seen in a while. But she told me last year she just picked up hurdles just out of nowhere and became just one of the best players in the entire state, one of the best runners, just absolutely phenomenal talent.
And that's what she's going to be doing in the fall. She's going to be going to Campbell University to run hurdles. So that's a Division I school. So all the skill that she had in basketball, and she just picked up hurdles, and it took her to the Division I level, so congrats to her.
And that just shows you there is some crazy good talent in this area. All right, that'll do it for the A block. We're taking a commercial break, but when we return, we're talking with a kid from Delmar about racing in monster trucks.
Wow.
That story coming up next on DSI.
Hey, this is Coach Evick, head coach of Cape Baseball, two-time state champion. You're watching Delmarva Sports Insider.